I've always had a terrible fear of being submerged completely in water. Not that I can't swim or anything. My dad made me learn. He said I almost drowned when I was really young. I was afraid of it because for as long as I can remember, whenever I'm underwater and look up at the surface, I see a woman reaching down to me with a warm smile, with glowing golden hair and dark blue eyes. Even if it's just in the bathtub, it always happened. It was just normal for me, but I never got used to it. It was unnerving, but also soothing at the same time. She always made me feel like it was okay. I still avoided it though, because I was just a kid and it was really freaky. I never told my dad about it as a kid, but I did ask him about my mom. He never wanted to talk about her. Sometimes he even got mad at me for trying too hard to bring it up. It was only recently that I described this apparition to him. He nearly drove into a telephone pole. Obviously he knew something. I asked him again about my mom. He still wouldn't say much, except that she died when I was very young and that she loved me very much. He also admitted that her hair and her eyes were those colors, just like mine. So I did some research on my own, looking up her name for myself on my birth certificate and trying to find out any references I could, any news clips about a boy nearly drowning, anything. I mostly wanted a picture, something I could match to my guardian angel. Today, buried in our town library, I found it. Winchester. Marie Withy, 28, drowned to death yesterday evening after climbing a razor wire fence and fleeing to a nearby reservoir. A funeral was scheduled by her family for the 25th. Marie was institutionalized just 6 months ago after being found not guilty of attempted murder on the grounds of insanity. Her husband Daniel Withy had acted quickly enough to rescue their infant child when she was found trying to drown him in a bathtub.
When I got the first one, I was literally seconds away from stepping onto the plane when a call from a known blared from my cell phone. It was a ringtone I haven't heard before, one I was pretty sure hasn't come with the phone. Normally, I wouldn't have stopped to answer it, but I was expecting a call about a job at an interview for the previous week. I took a deep breath and accepted the call. Hello?
Do not get on the plane.
A woman's voice gargled and strange, as if her vocal cords had been shredded, and she was trying to desperately choke out speech. Despite the unnerving fractured quality of her voice, her tone was insistent and eerily calm. Then the call ended. I froze. I had always had a slight phobia of air travel, and something about this call there's no way I was about to get on a 7-hour flight now. I turned around and headed towards the food court. I'll just get another flight later in the afternoon, I figured. I watched from the airport Starbucks 3 hours later as every TV in the terminal lit up with the crash footage of the plane I should have been on. No survivors. Not a single one. I tried to trace the call. So did the police, but there was nothing to trace. There was no evidence my phone had ever received a call around that time. They analyzed the phone records, incoming and outgoing communication to my phone. Nothing. I wasn't making it up. I couldn't have been. That wasn't the only call. Throughout the years, they were few and far between, but always right, and I always listened.
Do not go on that blind date tonight.
5 months later, my would-be date was convicted of killing 4 women, all with my hair color and build. Found him in a shallow grave 250 feet from the diner he offered to take me to.
Do not drive to the concert tonight.
18-wheeler, lost control and plowed into a line of cars. Every driver crushed. Every driver killed. In a stretch of freeway I would have been driving down. No matter if I got a new phone, if I moved across country, the calls would still come. I could almost feel the presence of whatever it was, whatever it is, watching over me. I imagine being at the bottom of the freezing ocean, still strapped into my coach section plane seat, or being in that man's grave across from the diner, or watching an 18-wheeler skidding towards my car, knowing death was imminent, and I get this tightness in my chest. I think about how thin that line was, how close I'd gotten. If I hadn't had that job interview I was waiting to hear back from, I'd never listened to that first call, and that would have been it for me. It always felt like something was coming for me, but there was always this fractured, warped voice with these calls that never seemed to exist after I heard them. Self-destructing warning signals rotting away before my eyes, and I was alive. I had a bad feeling about this cruise. I had planned it as a girls' week out with some of my old friends from college, and I was looking forward to a week in the tropics in the dead of winter. But a part of me could almost sense that a call was coming. Maybe I watched Titanic one too many times, but there was a little nagging fear from the start. I hoped it would be fine, but I knew that if something was going to happen, I'd get the call. I'd know. Now, a week before I'm set to go on the cruise, after stepping into my apartment after returning from dinner with a friend, I notice my cell has a message from a known. They've never had to leave a message before. Haven't checked it all night. Damn it. And I really wanted to go on that cruise too. Well, not worth whatever horrific fate awaited me in that cold, dark ocean. I click play message and feel my stomach drop as I listen to the voice. Sounded horrifically distorted, as if it emanates from a throat slashed to ribbons, crackling with more urgency than ever before. I look around my apartment as the voice on the phone repeats the same phrase over and over again.
Do not come home after dinner tonight. Do not come home after dinner tonight. Do not come home